Hi there, I'm Marius, and in a recent video over on the Power Platform Learners channel, we talked about content snippets and how you can leverage them, for example, in pages that Microsoft designed to change names. For example, we had there the sample of the login screen, how you can use certain content snippets, and then you essentially change how the page looks. What texts are displayed, maybe you have different wording than Microsoft, but also content snippets are a great way to do translation for your own pages. And I wanted to show you this as well. So first let's take a look at the result. I have here this page, I've done it for a different video. This has these buttons here. And if I change the language now to Deutsch, German. Then you see at the top the language is now German, and then it says here in German. I mean, if you don't speak it, you will have to believe me that this is German, but you at least see this has changed the button names. So in the background, what happened? First of all, in the design studio, doesn't look much different, right? We don't even see a language selection here. Just the design studio. You see here button text, but those are the button text of the default language. So let's quickly hop into here. This is the Power Pages Management app. And I am at my website, and you can see here the default language is English, but we have two languages, English and German, enabled for this page. And then at the home page, when I enabled German, it got two localized contents. So let's open one up. This is the one for German. And then here you see it has its own page copy. And we can verify that over here in the VS Code. So you access that via edit code here. So let's hop here. So we have here a home NUS web page copy HTML, and then the same thing for DE. And so translation for this copy part is you can just write a different name, right? So I have here the param returner. I don't know what that would be in. Well, let's. So something like this would be more German. You can translate directly into the page copy, and that makes sense if you are doing something like a blog article, right? Then like all the content is the copy, and you do everything in here. However, this is not the only way of doing it. The other way is snippets, and you see that being leveraged here at the first button and at the second button as well. So those are the Who Am I button and the Who Am I Really button. And so you see here two different syntax examples. So the first one, I've looked it up, is called liquid object with a double curly braces. And then you have snippets, and then in square brackets you have the name of the content snippet. And the other way of doing this is with tags, liquid tags. So that is written by a curly brace and then a percent sign, and then with editable snippets, but then you don't use the square brackets, you just write the name of the snippet. So that is, so I could have just left it out here. I could have just written the direct German names in here, but if you have such logic parts, maybe you don't want to do that for every single translation. Let's think about, you have 5 or 6 different languages you are supporting on your page, and then you have logic in there. So like the button logics, yeah, you might have subject matter experts translating the content, but you really don't want them to touch your logic. And if you change the logic, you will have to do it on 5, 6 different copy HTMLs here. So a way of doing it is, for example, with the web templates. So let's take a quick look back at the Oh, we would have seen it here, but here you see the page template is the default studio template, and then down here you have the web template, which is default studio template, which is okay, it's just a body with the page copy inside, but you might choose to get the code I just had inside a template. Let's call it home template, and then you define the home page to use the home template, of course, and that would be in the studio in the VS Code. You would see it over here under web templates. Here we see the default studio template for editing. And in that, you don't have languages. You don't see NUS and DEDE here. This is just a template. And in these, for example, let's take a look at the header. You will find something like this. Yeah, so they have here like using all these liquid objects and tags, and I don't know. Here we see a snippet, for example, being used. So yeah, they are used as well, and you could use them too. So if I have just used a snippet in my code, what now? We need to do one more thing. So back over at the Power Pages Management app, you will find here in content the content snippets. And I've pre-created a view here so that we don't have hundreds of snippets, everything that starts with home. And then I've made a label for the first button, so the Who Am I button, and then I got with /label. That is for organizing, right? Thinking about like folder structures. Yeah, so I have the home page and then which element, and then that element might have sub-elements. So a button might not only be a label, but might also have a tooltip, right? And then you want to translate the tooltip, of course, as well. So you can do this here. You associate a website and you associate a language. And you will see here English and German, and those were the two texts of the button we just saw in the beginning. And then the other way of doing it, so if you need a fallback, right? If I'm doing it, I will create the labels directly, yeah, the content snippets when I program it. But if I have a third party involved, something like a subject matter expert at the client, it might take time for them to translate, right? I can't control when they are doing it. So a good thing is this fallback. I've misused it here to go with German, but you can just leave the language blank. And then if there's no translation for that language, that is the fallback the Power Page will take, and therefore I can go with English, for example, to say, okay, yeah, when you don't have a translation for, let's say, Italian, then go with the English text. That's at least better than having an empty button that has no text at all. So inside, let's go with the German one here. So you can go with content snippets. They can have HTML. Content snippets can reference other content snippets, and they can also have like liquid tags and like fetch XML queries, for example, we talked about in a video. You can do this all inside another content snippet. So it could be much bigger than this just small text. Um, but you have to think about organizing yourself, right? Because this is like bound, for example, to the German language. So if you are doing a liquid fetch XML, well, you are starting then to duplicate that query to each language. And yeah, okay, that's probably what we tried to avoid in the first place when we did not use the page copy, right, to translate everything. So let's recap. You can create content snippets in the Power Pages Management app, and then you use them with. Let me switch from this web template where you can definitely use it to this copy. Either as a liquid tag with this editable snippets keyword, or as an object with the snippets object and then in square brackets the name. And then if you have multiple languages installed for your Power Page, you can translate them in every single language or use no language as a fallback, and then they will be displayed on your page. So they will not be displayed in the Design Studio. Here the default language is always displayed. But if I go to my preview page, you see at the URL, because I have multiple languages installed, the German content snippets are being used, or the default in this second case here. And if I switch to English, of course the English translations are being used. So that's it for today. I think with trying to clarify one thing that we missed in the Power Pages Quick Tips series, I've grabbed up a lot of new things, right? We need to talk about web templates, we need to talk about enabling new languages, so stay tuned for more to come on both channels, mine and the Power Platform Learners channel, and see you soon.